I'll say this, we're really excited about the group of candidates that we're going to be interviewing over the next several days, and I think maybe despite all the changes we've made, I think it's a very attractive job. Everybody in the NFL knows how important football is in this area. I think everybody understands we have a really good young quarterback and a really good core group of players. So we're excited about the opportunity to work with these candidates over the next week or two or however long it takes.
So how's Coach McCarthy doing today? And is NFL head coaching experience a prerequisite?
I think it'd be unfair to coach, to say, but obviously he's got great experience. He's won 62% of his games, and that speaks for himself. So we've really enjoyed our time with him, and head coaching experience is not necessarily a prerequisite. If you'll notice, we're interviewing people who have been head coaches in the NFL and people who are not.
Jimmy, is Urban Meyer a candidate?
Right now, we're just focusing on people with NFL experience. So we're going to hire the GM first, and then we'll do the coach first, then we'll do the GM search. The coach will be involved in that process, will not have the final say, okay, will not have the final say, but we'll be heavily involved in that process. So in your all's terms, we will not have an arranged marriage, okay? Then, let me just continue on because I think I know what you're going to ask. The coach and the GM will report to ownership as equals and obviously married up with each other. If you look over the last couple of years, I think the first thing you have to do is really understand the players in place. And it's really important to know your own team. And everybody looks at who we add. And I think it's really important also to look at who we subtract. And don't get me wrong, there could be some changes in the roster, but we have a pretty solid group of core players who are all extremely young.
All right, first of all, I got that shirt at Costco last week.
They have some good ones,
yeah,
including this.
Yeah. No question about it. $15.95. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. All right, your reaction to Jimmy Haslam's press conference. I thought it sounded like a Freudian slip where he said we're going to hire the general manager first, then the coach. He says, oh, no, wait a minute. And he reversed it. Yeah, I don't think he believed it.
Well, I'm not even sure. It won't be an arranged marriage, but the coach won't have final say over who the GM is. But Eliot-Wolf is still there, and he ostensibly would be part of an arranged marriage with whoever the new GM is, unless he's only there for this week because they haven't figured out what they're doing. You know, I just think there's still moving parts in this, and he's not even sure how this is going to play out.
Mike McCarthy is here, by all accounts, was here today, right? Mm-hmm. And so supposedly they've got a meeting tonight somewhere else. And then they're sending half of the management team out to San Francisco because San Francisco is still playing. How are you gonna decide on a guy if you don't have the full committee there?
Well, I don't know. I didn't know who was involved in the travel plans. You know, it may be as long as Haslam, DePodesta are involved in each of the meetings.
Didn't sound like they were, but
yeah, it's really hard to tell. I mean, and also now they're talking to guys like Greg Roman, who I don't have anything against Greg Roman, but you know he's been most successful with Kaepernick and Lamar Jackson type style quarterbacks. You would think that the way they talk about Baker-Mayfield, Jimmy Haslam said that that Baker-Mayfield had a remarkable season based on everything they asked him to do this year. I mean,
they might not have asked much.
Well, I didn't see a remarkable season out of him, but that comment leads me to believe that any coach who comes in there is going to have to embrace Baker-Mayfield or they're not going to get hired. Now, I'm not saying that's the wrong approach,
right?
But I don't know where a Greg Roman Baker-Mayfield arrangement, how that would work.
In fact, I would think that's one of the keys to whether the guy accepts the jobs. He said, what do you mean? I got to go with Baker-Mayfield no matter what? Yeah, he was our #1 pick. We're not going to undo that.
And I'm sure. And we know that from previous interviews, I think that Josh McDaniels thought very highly of Baker-Mayfield when Mayfield was coming out of college. Maybe this is all pointing toward Josh McDaniels, and he'll walk in here and say, I don't need total control of the roster. But
Hard
I
to believe
still,
when he's seen what he's seen in New England.
yeah, and I still think he would have some issues with knowing that there are other voices in the owner's ear